Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We're excited. We only have a few minutes with the head coach himself. It's Jay Johnson Mondays. Coach, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know you're limited in time, so I appreciate any time that we get with you. Congratulations on this weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on again.
Of course. Let's jump into it. So obviously Friday night or Friday, the game gets moved up because of the threat of rain, threat of the storm, which was a doozy. Luckily, it avoided us. Louisiana weather's crazy. I know I can't fault you. I can't fault you for moving the game because it looked like it was going to be in nasty weather, and then that's just what happens. It happens all the time with hurricanes. You'll get used to it. It's fine.
Definitely a here thing.
Yeah, it happens all the time. But so the game played out probably how maybe people who are close to baseball expected it to. Two really good arms. They threw their two best guys. It was 1-1 game going into the 10th inning, and then the wheels kind of fell off. But then y'all bounced back on Saturday and sweep in kind of a rout fashion. How did you like the response, and what was the message to the team through the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, you love the response. And, I mean, to be this deep in the season and only have 3 losses, that shows consistency in performance by the team. But each time we've lost, you can't ask for much more. I think we lost to Iowa and then won 16-4 the next day against a team that's in first place and has 16 wins already. We lost to Texas A&M and came out on Tuesday and won 10-4. And then lost on Friday, and tough game, high-level SEC game with real pitching. And Saturday, you can't ask for much more than that. I mean, to get a 10-run win and a 14-5 win, falling behind in both games as well. And so the character of these guys is great. They're certainly talented, but they're made up of the right stuff and an easy crew to get behind.
You talked about adversity. You talked about getting through it, kind of managing the adversity. Ty Floyd started the game for the first game on Saturday, right? He gets down 2-0, gives up the 2-run homer, and then you think it's going to be a quick inning. All of a sudden, it kind of balloons a little bit. 34, 35 pitches. Bullpen starts to get hot. He gets out of that inning. He comes back in. What was the message between him, you, and Wes? Because after he came back out, he looked like a whole different pitcher. He was locating his breaking ball. Everything. He had 3 pitches that was working for him. What was the message that y'all had for him?
Yeah, I mean, that was a phenomenal performance and one we really, really needed, particularly in this weekend against that team, which has a lot of future big league hitters, in my opinion, in that lineup. I mean, there are some guys that are a threat to leave the yard every time they swing. I'm not usually going out to the mound unless it's going to be a pitching change, but I went out there in the first inning just knowing, like, hey, we're going to score today, and just to try to give him some confidence. And he got us out of that inning, striking out the next 2 guys, which was huge. And then him and Wes kind of shuffled the deck a little bit on what they were doing between the first and the second inning. And then, as our offense does, it picked us up in the second inning with that 4 spot. Big RBI double by Jordan, 2-run homer by Gavin, and then a solo homer by Trey. And then it felt like the crowd got into it. Ty fed off of that. And then we controlled the momentum of the game for the rest of the day, which was awesome.
So Gavin gives the big 2-run homer. Trey hits the solo homer. Seemed to be something either coming from the Arkansas dugout and or from the umpire himself after the Trey homer. You pull the team together. What was said? Because everybody seemed to kind of get up to go there. What was said there?
Yeah, so first off, they warned him you can't flip the bat above your head.
My God. How high can the bat? Like, it has to stay right below?
I don't know. I'm shocked. That's our first warning. If that's the rule.
What if you got one of those, like, finish the swing and, like, at the end of the swing the bat goes up? That's not good, right?
These guys got the bat flip thing down.
Yeah, they do.
We need to get the bat flip thing down, apparently.
So the umpire explains to me it's a warning, and he's going to kick the next guy out of the game. Well, Dylan Cruz is walking up to the plate, and I go, well, I need to call offensive timeout right now because this guy's probably going to hit a homer.
And I definitely don't need him out the game.
He needs to stay in the game. We need this guy in the game.
Yeah, and I was like, by all means, like, kick me out if you need to, but don't do that.
Speaking of Dylan Cruz, right? Obviously, you can't say enough about him. He's been the best player. His average continues to climb up. If he goes 2 for 4 in a game, his average goes down, but he's not doing that. He's getting 3 hits a game. And then followed up with Tommy White. Both of them had monster weekends. Do you feel like this offense is kind of starting to catch their stride and kind of, whenever the big moment arises, they're just getting those big hits now?
I just think they're really solid in their approach and solid in their plan. I don't even know about getting in stride. I think we're leading the country in runs per game. Like it's been pretty consistent. It kind of takes a special effort to slow us down, and I'm pleased with what they're doing. And it's talent across the board. It's a lot of guys that can make a contribution. We have depth, so you can kind of match up a little bit and put them in a good spot. But they're just consistent in knowing if they do A, B, C, and D well, we're going to be successful. And very few times have they gotten away from their plan, and they deserve a lot of credit for that, because when they stay in their plan with their talent, we score a lot of runs.
Sign me up for 2 RBIs a game. I'll take that any and every day, right?
Yes.
So you got, talk to me a little bit about Gavin Dugas. Throughout the season so far, he's been literally the jack of all trades. A guy that you've been able to plug in seemingly anywhere in the lineup, and you've gotten very professional, very consistent production from him. How big has he been for this team so far?
Yeah, huge. I was talking about this. Somebody asked me about this earlier today, and I think you have 2 things going for you with Gavin. Number one, he has a lot of experience, and I've always said playing time is the best coach anybody's ever going to have in their life. Just getting reps and experience under their belt. He certainly has that as a 5th-year senior. But something's changed this year in terms of the preparation piece. Like, this guy is type A personality about how he's going about what he's doing. As far as his defensive work, he still hasn't made an error at second base, which is remarkable when you think about the position switch. His pregame that he does both offensively and defensively, he's just really mastered that. And he's always a confident guy, but I think he's just playing with supreme confidence right now, as he should. And he's strong and got that man strength going as a 23-year-old. It's professional bats. It's really awesome to see. He's doing something that's elevated our team that not many guys can really bring to the table, and it's awesome to see.
Before I jump to the bullpen and talking about the pitching side, on Friday, obviously, look, y'all played extremely well. On Friday, y'all had a couple. This is the first time it kind of reared its head as far as the base running goes. Obviously, the back pick at first base and the base running at third base.
Can't happen.
Whoa, easy. Easy over there. Jesus. I'm sure he told them that, okay? But, in a game like that, whenever it's hard to score runs, it's hard to kind of get some momentum going. Both those innings felt like that was the momentum, and then the guy didn't have a chance at the plate. What's the message? How did you relay that message to them? And obviously that's something that's important.
Yeah, people always ask me, what do you say to the team after a loss, or, was there some spark moment? And really after the game, I just said, hey, give me 5 minutes. Let's talk in the locker room. We need to break down a few things that happen, because those small things in close games, they rear their head more. And what I mean, or they get exposed more. And, for, I don't know how many games we played last year, 62 and 24, 25 into this season, we haven't made very many base running mistakes. We probably work on base running as much as any team in the country. It might surprise some people, and it was super out of character. And so we addressed it, and then we learned from it, and then we move on. This is not a consistent problem, in our program. We made 2 bad plays. Really bad play. Cost us a very close game. Maybe they cost us a close game because we still needed a 2-out hit in either situation, score either of those runs. I like our chances because we've been great with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. But you addressed it and then move on. Talk about impact. Talk about things we're doing well. Our guys are doing great at getting no catch reads in the outfield. Where the outfielders are playing, we're doing a great job of going first to third or first to home on doubles. And, so we address it and move on.
Speaking of momentum, has there been, the Friday night game happens how it does, then the Saturday 2 games happen how they do. Being around ball for so long, usually with good teams, there's usually a feeling of something or some things that usually start to happen that you get a feel for that makes you feel like, all right, they're about to start rolling. Have you kind of been able to like pinpoint that or put a finger on what that is with this team yet?
I think it's so day to day, because the pitcher for both teams has so much control of it. I think, it's about execution. It's about executing your plan and your fundamentals. I certainly try to come up with things as the leader that will help drive or inspire us for a day. And we try to treat every game like a playoff game, because in reality, that's what college baseball is. It's a 56-game playoff to just get to the playoffs or get to the point where you can host a regional or a super regional. So there's certainly some of that, but it's about ability, it's about character, it's about execution. We have great ability. We have great character. They know how to respond to failure. They know how to not get complacent with success. And then they know how to execute a plan from the mound, from the batter's box, from the field as a team and togetherness. And so we really just try to keep it about that and be as low drama as we possibly can.
Love low drama. Low drama is a good thing. You talked a little bit earlier about Garrett Edwards and how impressive he's been and how he had to earn the spot throughout the fall and the early of the spring. He looked great this weekend. Obviously, he threw a little bit on the first game on Saturday and then threw again. He looked really good. He looked sharp. Fastball was exploding. Can we expect to see him with a little bit more of an expanded role moving forward? Is he like I don't know if you're trying to make any changes in the back end, but is he somebody that you're going to look more into maybe at the back end of games?
Well, for me, one of our best pitchers is always going to be in the bullpen. I think you gain so much confidence from winning close games, and you do that when you have guys that you can really trust at the end of the game. And if you look at like his outings going back, he's kind of come in and turned some games for us that haven't ended up the final score being close, but were close at the time and came in really high leverage spots and executed. So I have full trust in him to do that, and yeah, he's going to continue to do that.
Griffin, 2 outings this weekend. I'm sure there was conversations going into the week with you and him about what he was going to have, what was going to be going on for him that week. The kid was super impressive. What's his outlook going forward from here?
Yeah, he's a dude, and he's one of those guys, and there's a few of them on both sides of the ball, the pitchers and the position players, where, man, I want to get him more time. And it kind of hadn't worked out. And there was really no explanation for it. Other than we lost some innings because of some 10-run rule stuff, that type of thing. But I really, really trust him. The ability is really, really good. And then the mindset piece is really, really good as well. So what you saw this weekend, you'll start to see on a very regular basis because we trust him a lot.
Love it.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Just a few more questions. I know you got to get out of here. You have your show. But Thursday night, you have a rare Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against Tennessee. Obviously, everybody knows Tennessee. Everybody likes to talk about Tennessee. But that Thursday night game is going to feature a lot of top-tier, top of the first-round draft picks. And Dollander and Skeens and Cruz and all these guys that are going to be on the field. What can fans expect to see from that game? Because I've been looking forward to that game just because of the talent on the field and how high level of baseball it's going to be. What can they expect to see from that game?
Yeah, somebody brought that to my attention today, and I was thinking from a Major League Baseball scouting standpoint, you'd be hard-pressed to maybe find a matchup like that ever. I'm sure it would have been in the SEC at some time. But, that's something else. And, we're trying to recruit at a high level and develop at a high level. They've done a great job recruiting. Their roster is loaded. It's been loaded for a few years. And it should be a great night for college baseball. If it's anything like the atmosphere on Saturday night, I can't wait. That was something I've never seen before.
Yeah, talk about that. That is your first SEC night game at Alex Box. This year, right? With the hype and everything. Like, how was that? Because you can feel the buzz around the city, but I can imagine you can feel the buzz, in Alex Box Stadium.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. When the TV schedule came out, we saw we didn't have a Saturday night game, and I actually called the office to SEC.
Sure?
We need to get this pushed back, and somehow we landed on, okay, it'll be all right. And then it's awesome that it worked out that way. But that was something else. I mean, I really hat tip to the fans, because that was I've never seen a regular season game like that anywhere at any time. And normally I'm all right. If somebody hits a homer, it's like, okay, who's up next? What does he need to do to keep the offense moving? Is the pitcher set for the next inning? And I think when Tommy hit the 3-run homer, I looked around for a second and was like, holy moly, this is pretty awesome.
Coach, they were giving him a curtain call before the curtain call.
I got too much going on to worry about that. I'll put that on my list. Hey, get out there and call. Yeah. So.
Hey, so I don't want to skip over tomorrow night's matchup. It's a big game. I understand that. But when it comes to this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, has there or will there be any conversation with the team about basically not getting lost in the sauce of everything that kind of goes on with this matchup and, kind of sticking to baseball? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, the last 2 weekends have been the same as this. And you're talking about all we've played is 3 preseason top 10 teams, meaning these first 3 weekends of SEC play. Yeah. And Texas A&M has good players. Arkansas has good players. Tennessee has good players. LSU has a lot of really good players. So I think last weekend playing at home, that experience of last weekend will help us this weekend. I actually think there was a learning curve for us on Friday, because that was, even though it was at noon, it was awesome, great environment, and I thought we were much more settled in on Saturday than we were on Friday. So my hope is that our players are ready to roll, and we just use our home field as a serious advantage.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I'm going to be in that number on Thursday. I can't wait to watch y'all play. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you always coming on the show. Love having these conversations with you. Wish we had more time, but I know you got prior engagements. Good luck this weekend. Good luck tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to watch y'all and talk with you next week.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
Appreciate it.